Hello, everyone. Welcome to Your Take, My Take, episode 4 by John and Jacob. I'm John.
I'm Jacob.
And today we'll be talking about our top 5 favorite teams to win the NBA title. We're at the halfway part of the season. We're at the NBA All-Star Game. We do apologize, Jacob and I do apologize for taking a long lapse between episode 3 and 4, but we promise to be more regular to our fans. We promise that we'll be better. We apologize for that. As a tradition, we're going to start off with our coin flip. And so we'll start off, Jacob, you call it in the air.
Tails.
And it's heads.
Oh my goodness.
So
I've never won though.
I'll go. I'll let Jacob go first,
okay.
And then I'll follow up.
So for number 5, I have the Philadelphia 76ers. The record is 24-12. I have them here because I think they're good. They'll make a playoff push, but compared to the other teams I have on this list, they lack depth, and they've never won in these past years, and they've had the same team. They've had these shooters come and go, but they regularly have the same team, and they don't really make it that far. For number 4, I have the Utah Jazz. So I know they are the number 1 team. They're playing really hot right now. They can't miss a shot right now. They're 27-9, which is really good. They're number 1 in the West. And I think that they have the same team as they did last year again, and they didn't make a huge playoff push. So I put them there. Number 3 is the LA Clippers. I think that the Jazz and them are very comparable, but I just think LA has bigger stars and better role players. And they're 21-14, so they're not doing great, but if you look at the injury, they've always had injuries, minor injuries, but when they're fully healthy, they're really good. Number 2 is the LA Lakers. So they're 24-13. Biggest thing for them is they have health issues. If you look at Anthony Davis, he's really good. He's a soft guy, though. If he gets touched, he might have an injury. LeBron, he's on my fantasy team, and he always has this knee injury. So he's always never 100%, but they're really good. I expect them to be in the finals, but not win it, and that goes to my number 1 is the Brooklyn Nets, 24-13.
Bandwagon.
They have 3 superstars. 2 of them have won finals. They know how to win. And then the other person is James Harden. He hasn't been to a finals, but he's really good. He's probably the best offensive player in the NBA right now, I would say. Yeah, that's basically it. I think that nobody can really beat them on a night-to-night basis. They have 3 superstars that score a lot of points, and that is my list.
It's not a bad list, Jacob, but here's the problem with the Brooklyn Nets. They have a flat earther on their team in the name of Kyrie Irving, and I can't trust flat earthers. And so there's an issue with that. So your list actually has very similar teams. I actually was going to consider putting the Philadelphia 76ers as my in the top 5, but after considering everything, I just don't like them very much. I don't like their lack of shooting. They're a traditional. They use a traditional big, which is kind of being phased out in the NBA. So I'll give you my top 5, and then we'll talk about our list. Number 5. I'm going to say it's the Milwaukee Bucks. I still believe in Giannis. I'm a big Giannis fan. They have Drew Holiday now that makes a difference from last year, and they have better shooting. If they can put it together, I think they have a much better shot of winning it this year than they did the years previous. Number 4, I have the LA Clippers. I like the Clippers. I think the Clippers are good. Kawhi Leonard is a proven winner, but they have someone named Paul George on their team, and I think he's soft. I think he's not a winner. And when he says that he gets nervous or he has anxiety during playoff games, that makes me nervous as a fan. And sorry, Clipper Nation, but it should make you nervous too that Paul George has never won anything ever in his life. And so that's why number 4, talent-wise, they probably should be number 1 or 2. But in terms of other issues, I put them at number 4. Number 3, I'm going to go with my Utah Jazz. Jacob nailed it. I think they have a lot of pieces in there that they didn't have before. The problem with the Utah Jazz, and I'm going to say it again, and this is why I put Donovan Mitchell on my earlier list, is that he's legitimately the only person that can create offense on their own. And that hurts in the playoffs where they play a lot of ISO defense and offense. And so if Donovan Mitchell isn't clicking, they're going to be losing and their offense stalls out. So I'm hoping that they have other players step up. Jordan Clarkson has been a good addition for them and has been another player that can do that, but he's a role player. He's a bench player. I just don't think he's a superstar. You need, in my opinion, at least 2 superstars on your starting team to be able to create on their own and to create offense on your own in the playoffs because the defense tightens down. Number 2, I hate to say it, it's the Brooklyn Nets. You can't deny the talent and the 3 superstars they have. They have 2 proven winners in KD and Kyrie Irving. They have one. Kyrie won before he came out and said he was a flat earther. Since then, he's never won another thing. So, flat earthers, I don't know what you want to say about that, but there are issues on that team. I don't know if they're going to be good enough defensively. I don't know if their depth is going to be good enough, but they have 3 of the top 5 players in the NBA on their team. You're hoping that if 2 out of the 3 click, they could beat anybody at any night. And so that's quite intimidating. Number 1, I don't want to sound like I'm a bandwagon fan of the Lakers. I don't like the Lakers. I don't like LeBron James, but my number 1 team that's a favorite has to be the LA Lakers. You look at the Lakers, you look at LeBron James, a proven winner. He knows what to do in the playoffs. Anthony Davis, I'm hopeful that he mans up a little bit in the playoffs and stops getting hurt. For a guy from Chicago, similar to Detroit, we're usually pretty tough. And Anthony Davis has not shown that he's tough, but he played last year in the playoffs and was big and won. And they have the pieces to win it again. It's just, can they stay healthy? They have the talent, they have the experience, they have everything to win it. It's just a question, is Anthony Davis, is he going to man up? And is he going to stay healthy? And is he going to play through nicks and bruises and dings that everyone gets and to win another championship? So that's my top 5. It's very similar to Jacob's. My dark horse, Jacob and I, we didn't talk about it. I have a dark horse. There's 2 of them. They're both from the West. I already talked about the 76ers. I think they're probably the dark horse, not dark horse, but they're probably one of the favorites for the East. But I do like the Denver Nuggets still. I like the Joker. I like Jamal Murray. I like Michael Porter, Gary Harris, my boy from Michigan State. I mean, they got the talent, and they went last year to the finals, and they were quite good. The other one that could be good is the Portland Trailblazers with C.J. McCollum coming back. You can never count out Damian Lillard and his ability to stretch out the offensive side. Mm-hmm. I think they got the talent too. It's just, who knows? You know who we didn't say, Jacob?
Phoenix Suns.
Why didn't you? They're number 2 in the West right now.
I just think that teams in the playoffs match up well against them. And Chris Paul, not a proven winner. I like him. Not a proven winner. Devin Booker will be fouling out by quarter 3 or ejected, either one. And yeah.
Well, it's because Devin Booker whines all the time. And 2, because regular season Chris can't win anything. He's never won anything. I mean, look at his stats. He does great during the regular season. He turns teams around. He's a proven winner in the regular season. And then something happens where he gets hurt or he goes crazy or something happens where he doesn't win in the playoffs. Yeah. Prime example, he was with the Houston Rockets with James Harden. They had the Warriors down in their ropes. All of a sudden he pulls a hamstring and he can't play ever again during that regular season. And what happened? The Warriors win. They win another championship. Yeah. So, I mean, Chris Paul has proven that he cannot take this step to win. He's been on great teams. Great teams. The Clippers, the Rockets. I think the Phoenix Suns have the talent too. It's just that I can't trust him until he does something that he at least goes and wins a conference championship at least. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Chris Paul, I don't know about him. You never know, but I think we'll do okay in the playoffs if we play like a Maverick or like any of those teams, the bottom tier list.
Let me ask you, you have the Clippers number 3 on your list. Yeah. How are the Clippers better than last year when they lose Harrell and they somehow they have X'd out Lou Williams? Lou Williams isn't as effective this year. So how are they a better team than last year?
They are giving their superstars more chances. Last year they would pass the ball more, and now they're finally playing where they take over the game now.
Who's their superstar?
Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. Paul George is really good. Shoots. I think he averages like 21 or something like that. Kawhi Leonard he's really underrated, I would say. He's always efficient on defense and offense. And he's probably the best two-way player in the NBA right now. And they have a really good defense too. And I think the coach is pretty good too.
The Clippers.
Yeah, the Clippers.
Okay. Well, I think the Clippers will have a hard time against the Jazz. I think the Jazz defense shuts them down. That's why I had them Utah Jazz ahead of them. The Utah Jazz defense is stellar, and it always has been. And one player that's been playing really well for the Jazz is Mike Conley. He's a replacement All-Star, but still that he is playing really well. I just don't trust Paul George. Paul George, as you've seen throughout the NBA, players call him out for being soft, and I think he is soft.
He starts talking in the playoffs too. He talked to Damian Lillard, and he went crazy.
So there's people that I personally don't like that I think hinder the team's abilities, and I named a couple of them. Paul George is probably number one on my list of why I don't. I mean, the Clipper Nation was happy when they signed him as
they traded for him.
They traded and signed him,
yeah.
But they were excited about him. But I wasn't very excited about him. So again, I think the Lakers are a favorite to win it all. They're number 3 in the West right now.
They're around there.
But before Anthony Davis got hurt, they were the clear favorites as they were.
I want to say something too. Remember when you said that LeBron James was the best player? Well, ever since Anthony Davis, they've gone down. They lost 4 straight when Anthony Davis first went out. So
it takes a little bit of time to get the chemistry together, but they have won again since then. But you're right, that did make me look bad, LeBron.
Yeah.
And the only time I ever really said something good about LeBron, that happened. So I agree with you 100%.
Yep.
But all my Phoenix Suns fans out there and my Detroit fans. I'm a Detroit Piston #1 fan.
Yep.
We're not quite there, but we're on step 1. Get rid of Blake Griffin, the man who won the dunk contest and probably can't even touch net now. So we're glad we got rid of him. We're on the up and up. And the Phoenix Suns, I think we're right there. I just don't think we're top 5 or top 6 yet. I think we have the ability to do it, and Chris Paul needs to prove it to us. And he has been a great addition. What do you think?
Yeah, he's played really well. We're number 2 in the West right now as well. Playing really well right now too. So
I agree with you. I want the Phoenix Suns to do well.
Yeah.
I'm not quite there yet.
It's kind of a shock for me that the Phoenix Suns are pretty good this year.
Well,
usually I'd be talking about like football at this time, but they're a different story now too.
And for our fans out there that wanted the top 5 quarterback list, that is coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, it's probably next episode.
And so keep bringing the suggestions in. Keep commenting. Like us. Subscribe to us, and we appreciate you watching this. Enjoy your spring break or your spring that's coming up. Once again, this is John.
I'm Jacob.
And this is your take, my take. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you guys soon.